Hey, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. Alright, so Gigantamax Battles are finally in Pokemon Go, and now you can obtain Pokemon that can have a Gigantamax form. And for a lot of people who are finally engaging with these new battles, the verdict is in regarding whether or not this is going to be a successful system. And it seems like for a lot of the concerns that players had regarding whether or not this system would actually work, unfortunately it seems like those concerns actually ended up becoming true. Gigantamax Battles are not only incredibly difficult, but the reward structure around Gigantamax Battles is very underwhelming. Let's first talk about the difficulty of Gigantamax Battles. It seems like with a lot of the early reports regarding these battles, players are just not able to complete them. Like, there are groups of at least 30 trainers that are going and engaging with these battles, and even they are not able to come close to defeating the Gigantamax Pokemon. And I was actually shocked when I saw this, because a group of 30 trainers, that is actually pretty massive by today's standards, because going out to raid battles, you'd be surprised if you could get a group of 10 trainers to go to every single raid, but a group of 30 trainers not being able to take down a Gigantamax encounter, that is absolutely insane. A lot of these encounters must be completely overtuned, and that is a huge oversight by Niantic, because if you want to get players engaged with Gigantamax Battles and the new Dynamax system, then you need to make it a little bit easier in the beginning so that more players could get a little bit of a feel for it, and actually get some of those rewards to incentivize them to engage with the system even more later on down the road. They were actually really good about this when it came to raid battles and Mega Evolution raids. When those features were first released, they first introduced some very easy encounters to get players excited about these new features, and then eventually they made them a little bit more difficult so that there was a sense of progression. But to get a lot of people just involved with Gigantamax Battles, and then for later on finding out that they're just not able to complete them, I think that's a huge oversight, and it's just very poor game design. But for Gigantamax Battles to be this difficult earlier on, yeah, that's going to cause a lot of players to just not engage with the system. I mean, let's talk about the reward structure behind these new difficult battles, because seemingly from the earlier reports, it looks like you're getting pretty much the same exact items that you would be getting from a regular max battle. So even though these encounters are just incredibly difficult and they require so many more trainers and a lot more effort and a lot more coordination, you're not even getting additional items for doing all of that. You're maybe going to pick yourself up a rare candy or a rare candy XL and a couple of golden raspberries, and that's pretty much it. You're not going to be getting anything extra for going through so much effort. And I think this is another huge oversight by Niantic, because if they do not have the right reward structure for something so incredibly difficult, then once again, players are not going to feel compelled to actually engage with that new encounter. At least when it came to raid battles, they were incredibly difficult, going from 5-star raids, from 3-star raids, but at least you were able to pick up a lot of really good rewards for engaging with those more difficult encounters. On top of getting yourself a legendary Pokemon, which in and of itself was a huge reward, you would get yourself a ton of experience, a ton of Stardust, as well as some premium items that you could only get from raid battles, so there definitely was an incentive structure that players could get behind, and it definitely allowed players to feel compelled to actually engage with those more difficult raids. But when it comes to Dynamax Pokemon compared to Gigantamax Pokemon encounters, yeah, it doesn't seem like there's that big of a jump. You're really just getting the same stuff, so I don't see why anyone would feel the need to actually engage with the more difficult encounter when they could get the same stuff from something a lot easier. So yeah, difficulty and reward structure. These are two areas of Gigantamax Battles that I feel like a lot of players are showing a lot of frustration and disappointment with. And this is something Niantic needs to fix up right away. At least for future Gigantamax content, like with Gengar, they need to make it so that more players can actually complete them, and for the players that do complete them, they get something that's worthwhile outside of just that Pokemon. Because this has already been a flaw with Dynamax Pokemon and Dynamax Battles, and now with Gigantamax Battles, in that the Pokemon that you get from these difficult encounters is not even something that is going to be relevant for PvP or with PvE content. It's going to be specific to Dynamax Battles, and you're not going to get anything out of it outside of that. And I think because of that, more players are feeling less compelled to actually engage with the max battle system, because there really is no point for them to actually engage with it, aside from doing more max battles. Like, if you were to get yourself a Gigantamax Pokemon from these battles, like, they're not going to be able to use that Gigantamax Pokemon in, let's say, a raid battle. It's going to be specific to just max battles. Sure, you could still use that Pokemon in raids, but it's just going to be its regular form. But at this point, players already have a lot of these Pokemon in their collection, and some of them are already raid ready with the right moves and the amount of power-ups and different things like that. So yeah, I think this is a huge miss, and it's really unfortunate because in my opinion, this was a golden opportunity for Niantic to get a lot of players on board with their new system. Max Battles from the very beginning has definitely had a problem compelling players to get engaged with it. And I really thought that with Gigantamax Pokemon and Gigantamax Battles, this would have been a way to get more players on board with Max Battles, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. So yeah, I think what needs to happen at this point is a complete overhaul or some sort of rework with Gigantamax Pokemon. Maybe you could create a way for you to get some sort of bonus or benefit from having Gigantamax Pokemon in your collection when it comes to raids and PvP, or just simply adjust the reward structure so that it is actually worthwhile to get yourself 40 other trainers to actually take these down, because considering just how difficult these encounters seemingly are, I really feel like at the very least, they need to make it worthwhile for players to actually engage with them. And I think that's all it simply comes down to. Give players rewards that matches the amount of effort that they're going to put in. They don't even need to spend money to get a lot of those good rewards. I mean, sure, they could spend the 200 Pokecoins to double up the rewards, but considering how crummy the rewards are, I highly suggest you never do that. And a lot of players are fully aware of that. They know that the value of spending Pokecoins to double up the rewards is just never going to be worth it. So I really do think that if Niantic wants to make this system successful and something that would actually incentivize players to spend those 200 Pokecoins, then they need to make sure the rewards are definitely matching that effort, but they just simply did not do that. And yeah, this is a huge missed opportunity. I really hope Niantic does something to fix this. This is going to be yet another feature that falls by the wayside, and that's a lot of development hours and development dollars that are going to be wasted, and it's a real shame that it just constantly seemingly happens when it comes to Pokemon Go. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Did you try out Gigantamax Battles, and are you actually enjoying it? Do you feel like a lot of these complaints are not well merited? Definitely share your reasons why down below in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I am Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one.